Okay, so what if we play that it all works out game? So let's say that this is my first recording and my happy end result is that this is helpful for somebody and it shows what the messy middle looks like, and it allows me to take what I have in here and put it out in the world. For whatever reason, this just seemed like what feels good. So what if it did all work out, right? So we're gonna start somewhere. This is our somewhere. And somewhere ends up working out to be, somebody finds this and says, yes, like, oh, I didn't realize that this is what that middle looks like. I didn't realize that everybody else has these same thoughts of self-doubt. I didn't realize that, like, self-worth is something that, like, comes up for everybody. I didn't realize that I don't have to fully connect with that voice in my head. Like, to me, the biggest thing is journaling and kind of getting accustomed to the stories. And like the things that are in my journals are always the stories. Like, this is the story I'm telling myself. And I'm constantly having the same stories, the same things, the same annoyances, the same frustrations. I just keep bringing them with me into this moment and that moment. And, of course, you try to understand them, right? But, like, what if it all works out, right? Like, what if this is a thing that people enjoy? What if somebody gets something from it and starts to understand, like, yeah, the voice in my head is different. It's different than who I am. That's the thing that talks me out of doing all these things I want to do. The fact that you can identify it, right? Like, oh, I identify with that voice in my head sometimes. And I have the ability to, like, analyze that voice. Journaling helps me get some distance on that voice. But what if it all works out? What if I loosen the grip of control and it all just works out? What if I don't have to know everything in advance? What if I could just walk forward, put stuff out in the universe, and just let it be, right? What if it all works out? Rather than all the what ifs, all that negative crap. What if it all just works out? What if it all works out better than how I had it planned? What if the things that come up that I see as, like, issues or stories or problems, what if that's what needs to happen in order to clear the way for something crazy amazing to happen? What if there was a lesson in there that I needed to learn in order to get me to that next place? Rather than fighting things all the time. Oh yeah, like, what if it all goes 10 times better than expected? What if all of the challenges were just the stories that I was telling myself about why I couldn't have something? You choose to allow something in, so I choose to have the universe guide me, point me in the right direction, get me to my dharma, and make my soul shine. And what if it all works out? What if it works out 10 times better than how I could have possibly imagined it? And by loosening up that grip of control, kind of having more of a floodlight view, an expansive view, that's going to help get you there. So staying in that energy of expansion, creation, using everything to your advantage. What if this is the thing that needed to happen so that I could learn that lesson, so I can then get to the thing I want to get to, desire to get to, intend to get to. It's a choice, right? I chose to put a tropical Airbnb on my vision board. I chose to put it there. Like, that was a choice. And then, things start lining up. And, like, I have the choice, right? Like, I told the vision board, I told the world, this is what I put out in the universe, tropical Airbnb. It's sitting in front of me. It was sitting in front of me. And it was... like, it felt like if I would have said no, well, if it didn't align, it didn't align, but if I would have blocked it, then everything else on my vision board would also be blocked, right? So, like, something made me choose to put that there. The opportunity arose to do it. It kept feeling like a yes, like, yeah, this does feel really cool. It's definitely outside of my comfort zone, but that's okay. Like, I can learn. All the cool things usually are just right on that cusp of, stretch and panic. So just kind of staying out of panic and in stretch. But, like, if I would have said no, even though, like, I knew that, like, yeah, this actually is, like, it's coming to me and I'm not going to it, and if I would have blocked that, then, the universe have blocked everything else on my vision board, right? Like, I'm saying no to something that I called in. So, yeah, just really kind of staying in that. So, now I'm calling in intuitive coaching, right? And that feels so, like, expansive and like, oh my gosh, I really wish I would have had a mentor. I wish I would have had something more than books and podcasts. Like, like, hey, this is what the challenge, like, help me reframe this and help me connect to something bigger, expansive. So, just the thought that I could help somebody do that for themselves just feels so amazing. Running somebody through the what ifs. What if it all works out? Like, how cool would that be? What if it all works out? What if it all works out 10 times better than I expected? In a way that was so easy, so elegant, and so graceful. What if that happened? I'm open to that. I'm also open to action too. This is part of my action. I'm telling the universe, like, okay, intuitive coaching. This is what we're doing. This is what feels good. This feels expansive and scary, but mostly expansive. So this is my step. This is me showing the universe I'm ready. I'm doing my part. I'm making a choice, starting somewhere, and I'm being expansive. What if it all works out 10 times better? Easier, more graceful. What if any block that came up was because I was trying to use the grip of control, right? So, like, normally it's just me pumping the brakes. But what if I didn't? Like, what if you didn't? What if you didn't hit the brakes? What if things were going to work out 10 times better? But the universe had a plan for it to be 10 times better. And you were trying to tell the universe exactly how to do it. What if the universe knows how to do it better? Right? Like, what if it was easy? What if it was fun? What if it was expansive? That feels so much different. You know, and even here talking now, right? Like this is outside of my comfort zone. But, you know, I start somewhere. This is my start somewhere. It's kind of cool walking around the woods. Definitely don't mind it whatsoever. So, expansive. What if it all works out and it all works out 10 times better than what I wanted? You know, I live in a world of infinite possibilities. And within that infinite possibilities, you know, if one branch of alternative space goes somewhere, you know, let's flow with it. You know, does it feel yes? Okay, it feels like a yes. Like this feels like a yes. You know, my first one's not going to be amazing. Or, I mean, maybe it would be. But, you know, like, it's the first one. You don't know. But until you do it, you can't have any experience. So, you just kind of like learning how to ride a bike. Just kind of get on the bike and go and see what happens. Well, I think that's kind of what this is going to be. It's just to, you know, get on the bike and see what happens. But calling in, like, what if it was 10 times cooler, better, and more aligned and inspiring than anything I could have ever have dreamt of? Like, how amazing would that be? Like, amazing. That would just be so amazing. So, you know, what is the thing that you haven't done because you were afraid of making that first step? Like, what if you just did it? What if you just made that first step? What if it was awful? Okay, well, the first time you do anything is usually like not the prettiest or greatest. You gotta start somewhere. So, like, what are you not doing? And what excuses are you making? You know, why are you holding yourself back? Why are you on the gas and the brakes at the same time? You know, what if it works out 10 times better? What if you chose to allow it? What if you told yourself a different story? What if the story that you told yourself was like, oh my gosh, this could be so easy? What if I found the exact website that I need within 3 clicks? What if that was possible? Right? Or, you know, whatever it might look like. What if I want to learn how to do something and within 3 clicks I find the perfect YouTube video to show me exactly how to do it? Right? So, like, what if I choose ahead of time to think, okay, there's actually a possibility this could be easy? Or am I going to start off going, oh, this is terrible, I can't do it, it's not going to work? Or I can choose to say, like, all right, what would it take for me to find what I need in 3 minutes? Okay, so in order for me to find what I need, let's say the perfect website. In order for me to find the perfect website to get the information that I need, what would it take for me to find it in 3 minutes? Okay, so that's on me because I have to have the right wording to find it. Okay, so what would be the wording that would get me the closest to what I'm looking for, right? So, what if it was as simple as that? What if it was simple as making a new choice, going, what would it take for this to be easy? What would it take for me to find it in 3 minutes? One of my favorite ones is, what would it take for me to get through all these emails and all these situations within 2 hours? When looking at it, it's like, this is probably 5 hours worth of work sitting in my inbox. So, what would it take for this to be like, oh, all done in an hour, you're good to go? What would that look like? So it would be, maybe all these emails are having back and forth with other people who ended up solving the problem on their own, right? Or finding the right person that was outside of me. Or, what if I realize then that there's some missing information because all these people have the same questions? So that then could be a cue for me of like, oh, you should be doing a guide, an email or video on how to do this so people don't have these questions. So things like that kind of help. Like, what would it take? What would it take for the easy choice, the aligned choice to pop up? What if it was 10 times better than expected? What if I didn't walk into this situation with dread? What if I calibrated to a different energy? So every time, you start something, what would it take for this to be done with ease, elegance, and grace? What would this take for it to be 10 times better than my wildest imaginations? What would it take for this to be just so perfectly aligned with everything that I'm calling in, and 10x'd on top of that? So you're just kind of giving it some room. You're expanding your thoughts. You're not contracting. You're not fighting. You're trying to figure something out. It's like putting energy, like you're trying to figure out a problem. What if you just created something different that absorbed it, bypassed it, went around it? That's going to be expansive. So, really just working with that expansive energy and that choice. I choose to have this be 10 times more amazing than what I could have ever have imagined. The universe will work out the details, right? Like in the now, I'm aligning with just harmony, ease, elegance, and grace, and what feels good and expansiveness. And, I'm calling in this intuitive coaching, getting paid to be me. And honestly, it's just not my business how. Like, I'm going to do my aligned actions for sure. I'm going to tell the universe I'm ready. I'm going to do some things and put myself out there and try. And I'm just going to have the universe kind of point me in the right direction. Like, this feels good. Okay, keep doing that. Well, this is your first one. What if you suck? Well, no, that seems pretty contractive, versus expansive of like, well, that was my first one. Get my feet wet. This is what getting your feet wet looks like. This is what telling the universe yes looks like. It's getting uncomfortable, but also like choosing to do it anyway, like choosing for it to be so amazing and expansive and feels good. That's way different. So what if it worked out 10 times better? What if it worked out 20 times better? What if you let go of that voice in your head telling you that you can't, your fear, who are you to be doing this? What if you just kind of brought that along with you, right? Because we don't want to shove it down. That doesn't feel good. So we just want to go into expansion. and just expand and see what that feels like. See where that takes you. You know, I choose to calibrate to the universe knows better than me. It'll figure it out. I just am enjoying myself along the way. I choose that. I choose that. I don't always choose that. But I'm getting better at catching myself. And that's really important too, is like catching yourself. Because I have control over my inner world. And I choose. Right? Like I choose. I choose to align myself with a different thought. That's a choice. I have a choice to do that. I have a choice to feel shitty. And I have a choice to like connect with doubt, self-worth, who are you? Or I could choose to be like, this feels fun and playful and cool. And maybe it works out 10 times better than what I could have ever possibly imagined. Like it just could be so expansive. What if this is just kind of what you're supposed to be doing? And the first one's weird because the first one's weird, right? But just doing it. Like, just do it. The Nike slogan. Just do it, right? Just get out there, make the choice. I choose to do this. Fear and doubt and worry, coming along for the ride, guys. But I'm choosing to move forward. I'm choosing to follow my yes, even though it's scary. I'm choosing to just kind of see what's at that other side, like a trust fall with the universe. Like, what could be on the other side? Like, what if there's a life that you love every moment of? That's different. That's expansive. That's there. And it's making the choice. Like, okay, it can be done. I love examples, so I'm a big fan of inspiration. Like, I'm following all these people on Instagram, like, oh my gosh, they're doing it. I'm like, what's the difference between them and me? Like, nothing, really, right? Like, they just made a choice. Well, I can make a choice. I can make a choice to put myself out there and do cool, expansive stuff. Or I can choose to let the voice in my head, kind of go to that retractive place. So it's all that choice. And aligning with expansion and allowing. We're not doing things in spite of, or like trying to beat it down, or, I'm going to destroy fear, doubt. No. We're just going to allow it. We're going to bless it, and we're going to welcome it. It's here. It's already here. Those are things that just everybody has, right? They're here. So I'm not going to fight with it. We're just going to allow it. We're going to bless it. We're going to welcome it. I like to imagine it as like a little dog that just, you're petting and it's licking your face. Like, okay, it's here. It's scared. It doesn't want to expand. Doesn't want to feel uncomfortable. It's trying to protect. But that's just a small part of this. There's something more bigger and expansive out there. And I'm choosing to align to that and calibrate to that. And what if it's 10 times better than expected? And you see other people and I'm like, wow, I'm so inspired. And what's the difference? Nothing. There's no difference. They chose it. They chose every day to make the step. They chose to have the first few ones be horrible. But they chose it. And they chose it and chose it. And every day they got a little better at it. Right? Like every day they got a little bit better. So, I'm calling in the intuitive coaching. every day we just get a little bit better. Every day we just remove a few more blocks by going through this allowance process and recalibrating and realigning. You know, every day, like, okay, fear's here, doubt's here. You know, who do you think you are is here. Okay, great, guys. Hop in the car. We're going for a ride. We're going to go do some expansion. You're coming with me. So, you know, what if it was 10 times better? What if it was beyond our wildest dreams? What if the universe had our back? What if we live in a world of infinite possibility? And what if we just keep connecting with the beingness of who we're looking to be, you know? Like, I don't want to connect with the fear and the doubt and the self-worth and, like, you know, all these reasons why I can't do something. You know, like, hey, you're there, I see you, I can feel you, right? But, like, we want to do some really cool shit. So we're going to do that. And we're just going to have to start somewhere. You know, if it feels like a no, it feels like a no. Or, you know, kind of like just trusting that, like, the no really is a no. It's not fear and doubt. Versus, like, you know, fear and doubt that feels like it feels different. It feels like there's still, like, layers to it. Versus if something energetically just feels like no, right? But, you know, if you're feeling the yes and you're feeling the fear, the doubt, the self-worth, you know, that tells you something a little different. That tells you gotta go do it. So that's kind of how you navigate that, right? What if it was 10 times better than I ever expected? What if the universe had my back? What if all I have to do is show up and it all just kind of lines up? Like, I just show up. Like, I just keep walking to yes. I just keep walking to what feels good. And it's kind of funny because I'm literally walking. But that's okay. You know? What feels good? What feels like a yes? What feels flowy? You know? Connecting with that and keep just kind of checking every thought. What feels good? What feels like a yes? You know, what feels like some expansion to it versus what's a reaction? You know, are you reacting? Is the fear and the doubt and the self-worth coming up? You know, that's kind of more of a reaction. It's a limiting belief. No, that's in there. But maybe there's something bigger in there. Maybe you just have to choose. You have to tell the universe, hey, I'm ready. Here. I'm showing up. You know, what's the next inspired action? You know? What could that look like? What could that be like? What kind of, like, energy could I put into this? What could I call in that would just make everything line up perfectly? Never been this way before. Let's give it a try. Yeah, that's different. It's definitely different. Try that on. It feels good. It feels like yes. Ask yourself, you know, what if it was easy? What if it was 10 times easier than I thought it could be? What if it was 10 times better than I thought it could be? What if exactly what I needed was 3 phone calls away? What if that check shows up in the mail? You know, what if everything just kind of aligns for the next thing I was looking for that I didn't even know I was looking for? It's definitely within the realm of possibilities, because we live in a world of infinite possibility. So you're choosing for something to be hard. You're putting that out. I'm like, oh, this is going to be so hard. yeah, with that kind of attitude, it is going to be hard. But what if you chose? If you made the choice? Wouldn't it be so cool if this just happened with ease, elegance, and grace? Everything just kind of clicked in. I just kept walking forward. I kept telling the universe yes. I just kept walking. And kept walking. And kept walking. And kept walking. I just kept walking forward. I kept walking to my yes. I kept knowing that the universe has got my back. You know, I kept hearing the fear, the doubt, the self-worth, and I kept allowing, accepting, blessing it, but also letting it go. You know, you're here, but I'm not choosing to align to you. I'm acknowledging that that's here. But we're also going to be doing some other cool shit. And you're coming along for the ride. That's just part of the process. So, yeah. What if it was easy? What if it was 10 times easier? What if it was 10 times better? What if all the experiences you had up until this point were to get you to right where you are right now? And what if this is the place that you needed to be to learn all the lessons to get you to where you want to go next? What if it all just works out? What if you let go of the grip of control? What if you trusted the universe? You just kind of eased up a little bit. Right? Like, you don't have to know all the answers. You just have to know what you're trying to calibrate to. And then just take aligned action towards that. You know, connecting to source, taking your aligned action, intending, just choosing. You don't have to fight for it. You know, you don't have to pull or push. You just kind of flow into it. Like a lazy river. A lazy river gave you exactly what you were looking for. And 10 times more. That's different. That's expansive. That feels so much better. That's a different connector. It's a different situation. It's a different place. So bringing that in, calling that in, calibrating that in. Unfortunately, spending a lot of time thinking about what you want. You know, like, what is that? The universe isn't going to know what to bring you if you don't know what you want. You know? But it also doesn't care as much about the things. It's more about the feeling. So, you know, like the flowy feeling, the lovely feeling, the expansive feeling, the connected feeling, all those feelings. And you want to feel. You know, and what brings you to those places where you do feel that? I want to feel expansive. I want to feel and flow. I want to love my life. You know, I want everything just kind of click into place. Right? And that happens with aligned action, with connection. And just kind of being in that space. You don't have all the answers. Nor should you. It's not your business how. You just have to connect to that emotion now. So, connect to source. Align to what you are looking to call in. Take the next inspired step. And bring doubt, worry, fear, and self-worth along for the ride. Coming with me, guys. We're doing it anyway. But here we are. So, that was the first one. I hope you enjoy your day.